Hello and welcome back to Kim Reads as we continue with Misery 9. By this time, she didn't take her anger out on him. She came to his room, her coat still on but now unzipped. She began to pace wildly back and forth, not even to look his way. A piece of paper was still in her hand, and every now and then she would shake in front of her nose as if it half chastisement. 10% tax increase, he says. In arrears, he says. Lions. Lawyers. Quarterly payment, he says. Overdue. Cock-a-doodie. Cock-a-poopy-doopy. He grunted in the rug, but she didn't look around. She was in a room by herself. She walked back and forth, cutting the air into her solid body. He kept thinking she would tear the paper to shreds, but it didn't seem she didn't quite dare do this. $506, she cried, this time brandishing the paper in front of his nose. She absently tore the rag that was choking him out of his mouth and threw it on the floor. He hung his head over to one side, dry heaving. His arms felt as if they were slowly detaching themselves from their sockets. $506.17. They know I don't want anyone out here. I told them, didn't I? And look. He heaved, making a desperate burping sound. If you vomit, you'll just have to lie in it. Looks like I've got other fish to fry. He said something about a lion in my house. What's that? Handcuffs. He croaked. Yes, she said impatiently. Sometimes you're such a baby. She pulled the key from her skirt and pushed him even farther to the left so that his nose pressed the sheets. He screamed, but she ignored him. There was a click, a rattle, and then his hands were free. He sat up gasping and then slid slowly down against the pillows, mindful to push his legs straight ahead as he did. There were pale furrows in his thin wrist as he watched to begin to fill in the red. Annie stuffed in cuffs absentmindedly in her skirt pocket, as if police restraints were found in the most decent houses like Kleenex or coat hangers. What's a lion? She asked. Does that mean they own my house? Is that what it means? No, he said. It means that He cleared his throat and got another aftertaste of that funny dust rag. His chest hitched as he dry heaved again. She took no notice of that. Somebody stood impatiently staring at him until he could talk. After a while, he says, just means you can't sell it. Just, you got a funny idea of just, Mr. Paul Sheldon. But I suppose the troubles of a poor widow like me doesn't seem very important to a rich Mr. Smart guy like you. On the contrary, I think of your troubles as my troubles, Annie. I just meant that a Leon isn't much compared to what they could do if they seriously in arrears. Are you? Arrears. That means in the bucket, doesn't it? In the bucket, in the hole, behind, yes. I'm no shanty Irish moocher. He saw the thin sheet of her upper lifted. I pay my bills. You forgot, didn't you? You forgot just the way you keep forgetting a change in February on that damn calendar. Forget to make the quarterly property taxes a hell of a lot more serious than forgetting to change the calendar page, and you're a bit upset because this is the first time something that big. Fact is, you're getting worse, Annie, aren't you? A little worse every day. Psychotics can cope in a world after a fashion, and sometimes I think, well, no, they get away with some nasty shit. But there's a borderline between the lands of manageable and unmanageable psychosis. You're going closer to that line every day, and part of you knows it. I just hadn't got around to it yet, Annie said sullenly. Haven't you here kept me busier than a one-armed paper hanger? An idea occurred to him, a really fine one. The potential for brownie points in the idea seemed almost unlimited. I know, he said with quiet uncertainty. I owe you my life, and I haven't been anything but a pain in the tail to you. I got about $400 in my wallet. I want to pay you for your arrears with it. Oh, Paul, she said, looking at him confused and pleased. I couldn't take your money. It's not mine. He grinned. He looked at her, his number one. Who loves a baby grin? And inside he thought, what I want, Annie, is for you to do one of your forgetting acts, and I've got access to one of your knives, and I'm sure I can move well enough to see it. You'll be frying in hell 10 seconds before you know you're dead. It's yours. Call it a down payment if you want. He paused and then took a calculated risk. If you don't think I know I'd be dead if it wasn't for you, you're crazy. Paul, I don't know. I'm serious. Yes. He looked at his smile to melt to an expression of winning or so. Please, God, let it be winning, he said in You did more than save my life, You saved 2 lives, because without you, Misery would still be lying in her grave. Now she was looking at him shiningly, the paper in her hand forgotten. You showed me the error of my ways, got me on track again. I owe you a lot more than $400 just before that. And if you don't take the money, you're going to make me feel bad. Well, all right. I thank you. I should be thanking you. May I see the paper? She gave it to him with no protest at all. It was overdue tax notice. The lion was a little more than a formality. He scanned it quick, then scanned it back. Have you got money in your bank? Her eyes shifted away from his. I've got a little put aside, but not in the bank. I don't believe in blanks. They say they can't execute the lion unless you pay the bill. Remains unpaid by March 25th. What's today? She frowned at the counter. Goodness, that's wrong. She untacked it, and the boy on the sled disappeared. Paul watched this happen with a surging amount of regret. March showed a whitewater stream rushing pell-mell between snowy banks. She appeared myopathy at the calendar for a moment and then said, Today's March 25th. Christ, so late, he thought. Sure, that's why he came out. He wasn't telling you they had slapped a lion in your house, Annie. He was telling you they would have to if you didn't cough up by the time the town office is closed tonight. Guy was actually trying to do you a favor. If you pay this $506 before, and 17 cents, she put in fiercely. Don't forget the cock-a-doodle 17 cents. All right, and 17 cents. You pay before they close the town offices the afternoon. No lion. If people in town really feel about the way you say you do, Annie, they hate me. They all hate me. They're all against me, Paul. Your taxes is one of the way they'll try to pry you out. Hollering lion at someone who has missed one quarterly properly tax payment is pretty weird. It smells. Well, it stinks. If you missed a couple of quarterly payments, then they might try to take her home, sell it at the auction. It's a crazy idea, but I guess technically they'd be within their rights. She laughed a harsh barking sound. Let them try. I'd gut hole for you, a few of them. I'll tell you that much. Yes, sir. Yes, sir, Bob. In the end, they'd gut hole you, he said quietly. Well, but that isn't the point. Then what is? Annie, there are probably people in Sidewinder who are 2 or 3 years behind on their taxes. No one is taking their homes or auctioning their furnishings down at the town hall. The worst that happens to people is that, like most of the time, they lose their town water. The roadymans now, he looked at this shrewdly. You think they pay their taxes on time? That white trash, she shrieked. Ha! I think they're on the they're on the prod for you, Annie. He did in fact believe this. I'll never let go. I'll stay up here just to spite them. I'll stay up here and spit in their eye. Can you come up with $106 to go with their $400 in my wallet? Yes. She was beginning to look cautiously relieved. Good enough, he says. I suggest you pay their crappy tax bill today. And while you're gone, I'll see what I can do about those damn marks on the floor. And then what's done, I believe I'll see if I can do about getting the fuck out of here, Annie. I'm a little tired of your hospitality. He managed to smile. I think there must be at least 17 cents there in the night table, he said. 10. Annie Wilkes had her own interior set of rules. In her way, she was strangely prim. She made him drink water from the floor bucket, had withheld his medication until he was in agony, and had made him burn the only copy of his new novel, had handcuffed him, and stuck a rag reeking of furniture polish in his mouth, but he would not take money from the wallet. She brought it to him, the old scuff Lord Buxton he had since college, and put in his hands. All the ID advantage. At that, she had scruples. She did not ask about it, and it seemed wiser not to. The idea was gone, but the money was still here. The bills, mostly 50s, crisp and fresh. And the clarity that was both surprising and somehow ominous. He saw himself pulling the camera up to the drive-in window of the Boulder Bank the day before he had finished Fast Cars and dropping his check for $450, made out to cash and endorsed on the back into the tray. Perhaps even the guys in the sweatshops had been taking a vacation. He thought it likely. The man who had done that had been free and healthy and feeling good, and had been without the wit to appreciate any of those fine things. The man who had done the eye had driven up Teller, a lively, interesting eye, tall, blonde, wearing a purple dress that cupped her curves with a lover's touch, and she hadn't put back. What would she think, he wondered, of the man as he looked now, 40 pounds lighter and 10 years older? His legs a pair of crooked, useless whores. Paul? He looked up at her, holding money in his hand. There's $420 in all. Yeah? She was looking at him, then disconcerting expression of maternal love and tenderness. Disconcerting because of the total solid blackness underlying it. Are you crying, Paul? He brushed his cheek with his free hand, and yes, there was a little moisture there. He smiled and handed her money. A little. I was thinking how good you've been to me. Oh, I suppose a lot of people wouldn't understand, but I think I know. Her own eyes glistened as she leaned forward and gently touched his lips. He smelled something on her breath. Something on the dark and sour chambers inside her. Something that smelled like dead fish. It was 1,000 times worse than the taste smell of the dust rag. It brought back the memory of her sour breath. Breathe, goddammit, breathe. Blowing down his throat like a dirty wind from hell. His stomach clenched, but he smiled at her. I love you, dear, she said. Would you put it in my chair before you go? I want to write. Of course, she hugged him. Of course, my dear. And I'm going to stop it there. Thanks for listening.